best.
What do you?
Wait, you could do that with natures, and I kind of personally stopped at 5th gen. So if you can do that in 6 or 7,
I don't think you could do that in 6 or 7.
I
If
don't
you
know.
could, I wasn't aware of it.
I don't know.
Ace Trainer Kelly.
But like combined with the whole
You
catch
could
a million.
you could breed down natures, but I don't think you could set natures so that you just run into Pokemon with explicitly that nature.
Synchronize an elite Pokemon is copied to wild Pokemon.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm aware. That's
right.
not even 6 and 7. That's just been from like 3rd gen onward.
Okay, I just never.
But
knew
it's
that one.
it's usually not worth it, or it's kind of a pain in the ass more than anything. And also nobody chains wild Pokemon for that reason. You usually want to breed wild Pokemon, or breed a shiny Pokemon rather, because that's an easier way to get shiny Pokemon.
Yes, they should put changeable difficulty in Pokemon games, even if it just bumps the
Yeah.
levels up.
Yeah. That is a thing. So in Black 2 and White 2, there was changeable difficulty. And in an interview with Masuda and Omori or not Masuda and Omori, it was Masuda and what's his name? It might be Takahashi. I don't remember. The guy in charge of TCP. They did a big interview at one point, and during the interview, somebody asked them, "Hey, do you think that you're going to bring back changeable difficulty?" And Masuda went, "Is that a thing? Did we do that?" And started laughing. And the other guy went, "I think if we did that, no one would be able to beat the game." And then they both started laughing together.
I lost my grip, says the ace trainer we just killed.
Yeah. It's just like, why would you do that? The other guy, the non-Masuda guy in that conversation, by the way, has a whole thing where it's been continuously pointed out that every time somebody asks him about difficulty in Pokemon, that guy answers as though Pokemon is like the hardest game anyone has ever played. Like, he legitimately thinks Pokemon is very difficult to the point that most people don't beat the games. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, why would anybody feel that way?
Yeah, I don't know. Where did
Yeah,
I go?
right?
Am I
Like,
dead?
some people really think that the games are... Like, the staff making the games think that they're difficult. And it's just like... What? Why?
He's got a plate full of berries.
Look at the information behind him. You used to be Yakuza, sir. I don't know what you are anymore.
He's a gym leader.
No, I know that, but wow, the blue outside really takes you out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
Woof.
also the sudden camera
Blue
change.
world. Good job. Talk to me, Persian. Not Giovanni, because I don't want to talk to him yet. Grr. Talk to me, fruit bowl. Oh, the fruit doesn't talk. Damn. Look at it, he's just sitting here. He's like 3 times the size of our characters, by the by. The fruit isn't sentient.
That's
Good to
true.
know.
Usually. Sometimes you get like Cherubi, or I'm sure there's others. And
Well,
my brain's not
we talked about
Bounce
it. We talked about it earlier on too, where we were talking about like, what was it? Somebody asked, what challenges are there that are rewarding for hardcore players playing Let's Go? Somebody asked Masuda in an interview, and his answer was to say, the combo system is a new addition. We think that it will be very rewarding for people. You catch multiples of the same Pokemon, and then you gain rewards for doing it.
I
And
keep
it's like,
wanting to talk
that's
about that,
not
by the way.
challenging, Masuda.
I keep wanting to say that because I was trying to talk about
sorry,
home,
sorry.
and you keep getting really depressed about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gone now. All right. Anyways, I keep wanting to say what I'm worried about with home. I'm optimistic that it'll be more than just a bank you have to pay for a second time. I'm optimistic there's going to be something. We don't know what. I wish they'd tell us. But I'm worried that since it interacts with both Bank, which has traditional Pokemon in it, and Go, which has a kind of a different system, that it's going to be not just a prison, but a meat grinder. Because you're going to potentially have the candy system suddenly applied to all your old Pokemon, and the encouragement to take a lot of duplicates and trade them in. Which sounds fine for Go, I guess. I guess that's just how that game works and how this game works. But, like, I mean, there's probably people with a lot of breeding rejects that are just sitting there if they're not being released, and they could be turned into candies or whatever. I'm just thinking, like, I'm just kind of worried that that's just going to be really depressing looking when your Pokemon can't get into Galar and they can't go back into Bank and then back into your old games, but you can trade them to an NPC in exchange for food. Like, that just sounds really sad.
Yeah. Let's see. So, somebody said they won't have a Switch for this game. Don't worry. So, for Sword and Shield, I keep telling people this, even if you have a Switch, don't buy it. Don't buy the game. We will be playing it. You can come and watch us play it. We're going to get the game only because we're going to play it for the channel. And honestly, if only one of us has to buy it, it's fine. I don't usually make that argument. I usually feel like that's a scummy argument, but I think it's an okay situation.
I predict when that happens that I'll be sitting here next to Josh as we play it, and I'll just be telling him we shouldn't have bought this game. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree. Also, not on topic, but who's the dressed up kitty with a sword?
That is Tao.
That is our cat from Monster Hunter World. That is also going to be our next emote. So the little thing keeping track underneath her, which is up to 15, as soon as that reaches 15, that's going to be the emote that we get. That's our next emote.
Is it, like, already uploaded and people can use it once we get there, or do you have it not unlocked?
No, because we can't do that as affiliates,
Twitch is
which
weird.
is unfortunate.
Twitch is weird.
Yeah, it says 6. I think it was 6 earlier, though, and somebody subscribed, so...
I don't know.
Either it should be 7, or somebody ran out from when we started the stream to now.
Or the meter is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the meter might also be broken. I don't think the meter's broken.
We're getting other game recommendations from various people. Undertale again.
Yeah, I fell over.
At this point, Undertale is going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Fantasy Life, I forget which one that is, but I know you've told me about it before, Lugron. Monster Hunter Stories, honestly, there's no reason we don't have Monster Hunter Stories. It's weird that we haven't.
Well, I don't know, we just didn't want to play it mostly.
Well, are you just lining us up?
Yeah, I was trying to line us up while we were doing this, but I guess that's
Hi, Cadbury.
not gonna work. Hey, Cadbury.
Why are you here?
Let's see. Somebody said, I honestly changed my decision on buying Sword and Shield. If I don't remember what changed my mind, but I'm not getting it. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. Was it me? Might have been me. I'm going to talk to Giovanni now. Look at this tall man.
What's up?
Look at Blaine without his glasses or his mustache and a wig on.
And a different name. And a different personality.
Welcome to my hideout. It shall be so until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory.
I might be getting too loud, I'm sorry.
But you have found me again. So be it. This time I'm not holding back. Once more, then. You shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer.
I don't like what you're doing with your hands this close to this boy.
It's fun.
It looks like he was going to grab your head or something.
Yeah. You're challenged by Gym Leader Giovanni. And then after we beat him here, he gets so ashamed he puts on a fedora and a coat and a suitcase, and then he runs away. And he tells his son not to follow him. It's a very sad thing.
Please.
I'm working on it. There we go. Let's start this fight off right.
Alright. Speaking of Sword and Shield and whether or not we like it or not, what's chat's general opinion of Alchemy? The cream whip thing.
I think that it is dumb because it could have. It's literally just
It's Slurpuff, but
it's Slurpuff, but they took a second shot at it.
it's like Slurpuff's human Sona.
Well, kinda. It's more humanoid than Slurpuff usually is. I can't even believe fucking Blastoise missed, by the way. Blastoise's attack actually missed. I'm like, aw.
Whatever.
Yeah, well.
Alchemy, like, I feel like it's annoying that it's redundant.
Oh no, there it is. It's just really slow.
I'm generally not opposed to redundant Pokemon if they still look good. Like, I like Rattata, but I also like Sentret and Bidoof and Zigzagoon. I don't mind if it fills a niche and has similar themes, except that they've locked other Pokemon out, so now anyone who likes Slurpuff probably isn't getting Slurpuff in the new games because Alchemy's kind of the same thing, but they want to give it attention.
Somebody has pointed out, by the way, and I don't know how confirmed this is, but I have heard that in one of the trailers, and I don't remember this, but I might just not remember, Slurpuff's unevolved form is in it.
Swirlix?
Yeah, Swirlix is in it.
Wait, they're both in?
They might both be in.
So, then, what's...
I don't
Okay,
know.
but then that brings up the other side of the question of, well, if you're putting them in redundant Pokemon, who's being left out in favor of redundancies? We wouldn't have this problem if everyone was getting in. Like, just put them all in. By the way, I don't know if we've mentioned it, but apparently they never said this to the Japanese fans.
Oh yeah, they've never told the Japanese fans about the National Dex thing. How fucked up is that?
It was only in an E3 thing, which is a West-oriented press thing.
Yeah, well, it's something that in Japan they don't pay as much attention to. And it's especially bad when it comes to Japanese companies because, like, as an example, the Nintendo YouTube, the Japanese Nintendo YouTube, wasn't even showing E3 when E3 went on. That wasn't a thing.
Huh.
There was no Japanese, like, YouTube coverage of E3.
And honestly, sometimes it makes sense because you'd think that they would just be telling us in English things they had already told the Japanese market in Japanese.
You'd think so.
Oh, yeah.
Buster support!
Hell yeah, get in here.
Gave Blastoise an attack boost, apparently. Okay, thanks, Busters. Gyarados uses Outrage.
Wow. A
It's
little mean to her.
A little bit. But
Shout
yeah,
out to
they,
Nidoqueen for her amazing bikini.
Yeah, there was zero coverage of Treehouse for Japan. The Direct wasn't entirely covered in Japan either, but they at least had the trailers come up in Japanese. And they showed those off. There was like a Direct, it just wasn't an E3 Direct. But the Treehouse was 100%, nobody had any Japanese coverage of that at all. So as a direct result of that being entirely in English and nobody showing that off, Masuda saying that in front of the Western fans, it became like, oh, this is the only time that he ever actually said it. This is the only time that we ever had any Pokemon stuff. And people have been pointing out that he made a tweet about it when he did the letter to Pokemon.com, but the Japanese version of Pokemon.com doesn't have that letter on it. It's only written on the English version of the site, which he linked to, but it was like a bit.ly link on Twitter, and that's the only time that it showed up there.
It just feels really odd that the primary sales base for the game had to find out about this problem through the secondary market getting mad.
I don't think it's as surprising if you remember and maybe sit down and think about it, that it's like, it would almost make sense for them to do that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all, but
it doesn't make sense for them to say it.
It almost makes messed up sense when you realize that what they could be doing with Japan is holding off on telling them until the hype train gets so big it can't be derailed by the news. So they're going to wait until the last minute to tell them, or possibly until after the game comes out. Because all that Japan knows is that not all Pokemon are catchable in the Galar region. Because that's how certain things towards them have been phrased. So it's like, oh, the Pokedex in the Galar region doesn't include all Pokemon. Not that the National Dex doesn't exist and you can't transfer most of them into it.
Yeah, it's just like they'll leave certain things out of the data of the game, and that's the problem. We're being asked if we've discussed Dynamax versus Gigantamax. I don't see a point.
Gigantamax is just Mega. Why did they change it?
I don't see the point of giving them different terminology. If they can get big, they should get big and do the form change, except that's just Megas, but big, so it's just, they're replacing old functions for redundant functions. And also the weird red glow with the clouds looks kind of bad.
It looks especially bad in the newest trailer where they have a Dynamaxed Charizard using a fire-type attack for 2 reasons. First of all, the Charizard moves its head and then the fire blast comes out from like 30 feet above its head. So it's not even lined up to the face right. Secondly, when it moves, you can clearly see the clouds dip and twist with the head because they're just rigged to the head, like to the bone in the head. So when the bone of the head is moving around just to like twist the neck around and show the head moving, the clouds are just whipping around like crazy because they're just attached to it. It's like, oh, that looks like shit. Why would you do that?
Let's get through the Giovanni dialogue because I want to say something about.
That was a truly intense
stuff.
fight.
You got 8,000 for winning.
Money.
Yet again, I'm defeated. As proof of your victory, here's the Earth Badge.
Hooray!
Yay.
High five.
Got an Earth Badge from Giovanni.
An Earth Badge makes all Pokemon obey you, regardless of how high their level is, or who originally caught them.
Which almost makes sense for Giovanni to have this when you think about that.
Yeah,
but,
it does.
Yeah, still.
It's proof of your mastery as a trainer. With it, you can challenge the League.
Why is our character's
And
eyes
this
gray?
TM,
I don't know.
a gift for a trainer who dares take on the challenge of the Pokemon League.
Like, gray is an actual natural eye color. It's just when they're that big and his hair is also black, it's like, I mean, did you just give him default hair and eyes?
I guess. In Sun and Moon, I want to say, and I think X and Y too, but X and Y didn't let you keep them outside of a specific area. You were allowed to get contacts that would change the character's eye color.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. Sun and Moon, it was really nice because it was just easy peasy. You could just throw them on and walk around and do
Yeah,
whatever.
there just needs to be more customization in general.
I would agree.
I also feel, and this is silly and it doesn't matter, but I want it, they need to just select an anchor point on every Pokemon, and you can just select a ribbon to go there if the Pokemon has earned that ribbon. You know, it can be somewhere goofy on some of the Pokemon that don't have, like, animal anatomy. Like, if you've got, like, a Forretress or a whatever, like, it can go somewhere silly as a joke, but it's like, yeah, if this thing's won a contest or beaten a league, just be able to show one ribbon on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Customization, like, there's no reason not to for some of this stuff.
Let's see. Oh, Earthquake. Oh, did you
Yes,
used
a
to get Fisher?
Machop with a ribbon, and it can just be, like, on his peck or something.
TM41 contains Earthquake,
That's useful.
a powerful attack that causes a massive tremor that deals damage to opponents. I made it a very long time ago, back when I ran this gym, far too long ago.
Giovanni invented Earthquake.
He's always been evil.
Hey, shit. Mafia boss making earthquakes and shit.
I can't face my followers after being defeated.
He
like
sells
this.
earthquake insurance.
Team Rocket is.
It'd be terrible if something happened to your nice gym here.
As of today, Team Rocket is finished. And the Rainbow Rockets begin,
He says as he grips his fist and then vanishes into nothing.
And then, like, Gatesus and Cyrus pop out of a dimensional hole, and it was like, sup, boss?
As for myself, I shall dedicate my life to Pokemon training again.
Could you dedicate your life to sun training? You've got
Let
a
us
son.
meet again someday. Farewell.
Go be a dad.
Go home and be a family man.
Although
me
I
take
guess
his chair.
having Giovanni for a dad isn't so great.
It's better than not having a dad at all, I would assume.
Busters is exhausted from giving an attack buff to a Blastoise. Give him some pets.
Yeah.
So now that we're out of talking to the team leader, I just want to mention something that I think a lot of people have also figured out, and we could all be wrong, but in the trailers that showed off some new characters in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Chairman Rose, a very well-kept man in
Clearly
a
a
suit.
villain.
He's in charge of the league for his region, and I believe it said somewhere on like the website or something that he was the one who engineered Dynamax. Am I hearing that right?
I don't remember 100%.
I think it was somewhere. It was, but like Dynamax is important to the stadium battles, and he's in charge of those. And Dynamax puts evil-looking red clouds over everything's heads.
Yeah, I keep saying it,
How
but he's
is
clearly just the villain.
This guy's the villain. He's also too normal looking.
There's no way he's not the villain.
Every other character looks like an anime character, and then he looks like you gave a photo reference to someone who draws an anime, and then they drew from the reference to make sure it still looked like him. He's got too much detail to his face, but he's also really kindly looking and smiling and normal, and has nothing about him that looks anime.
He's just the villain.
He's too normal. Okay, we're gonna go some stuff. Rose is the chairman of the Galar Pokemon League and also the president of a large business conglomerate. That's kind of evil sounding. Also, thank you, Wolf Crow, for finding this. He's made the Galar Pokemon League world famous by implementing gym battles featuring the Dynamax phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon, so he didn't make it.
No, but it was his idea to cockfight with it. He's also the one who first endorsed Leon for the gym challenge. It seems he has quite the eye for talent. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, this is so choreographed. Big businessman using evil giant man clouds to make Pokemon fight each other, but more. His assistant looks like she's going to be very mean. She's got a very cold face to her. You know it's going to turn out that, like, the leader for the team, which they haven't introduced the team yet, the villain team, their leader is going to be this pale lady with long blonde brownish hair who's wearing a mask or something, so you can't tell who she is, and then she'll only show up when Chairman Rose's assistant isn't in the scene.
Yeah.
Like, that just seems, I could be wrong. I'm kind of planning this out in advance in a way where it's like, I could still be wrong. We could all still be wrong, but they look so evil.
Also, the guy who he endorsed is probably just some, like...
He's a good boy.
He's probably just some poor, stupid idiot. He's probably real good at battling, but he's just, without realizing it, been a pawn the whole time, I'm assuming.
He's your rival's big brother, and he can do no wrong, and you look up to him, and he's great, and he's friendly, and he's a good champion who goes and takes photos for a Wheaties box, and all the kids love him. And he's got all these sponsors, so he couldn't be bad. And then it'll turn out that he's just been manipulated by a major corporation that makes evil giant clouds.
Congrats, kid. Boy, though, what a shock. I never thought a criminal would use a Pokemon gym as their hideout.
Nice gym, I think I'll take it.
That's it. I've decided. I'll look after the Viridian City gym from now on.
There we go.
I'm surprised there wasn't just, like, evil music playing there, honestly. It's his theme,
now it's his theme
but,
going.
like, yeah.
I don't really like to get tied down, so I've always said no when they asked about it, but I think I'm finally ready. I'll be
being
the gym
asked?
leader from now on.
Oh, continue this.
I'm the gym leader. I want to battle you, huh? I mean, sure, but I think you've got a bigger challenge to face right now. No, fight me right now.
Fight us. Give us a second
So
Earth
then,
badge.
Josh, time for you to take on the Pokemon League. Just keep going along Route 22 to the west of here, and you won't miss it.
So, Gary's not going to be the champion we have to fight? Does that mean
Fight me,
there's no way our
coward.
rival is going to be able to take that?
The Elite
for a
Four
while?
are tough opponents, but don't you dare lose. No, fight me, though. Fight me. Oh, come on. I'm going to show that little upstart how it's done. I'm going to fight Jack. Fuck you.
We're being asked if the younger brother of the champion will join
Buster
the
says
evil
a present.
team. Aww. Good
I don't think he's going to
boy.
join the evil team, but I mean, there's always a possibility.
Oh shit!
Beach glass.
Shiny.
A piece
I
of
want it.
colored glass. Waves have rounded its edges. It's slightly rough to the touch.
Neat.
Yeah.
I want that in real life.
I do too.
I
I
love
like beach glass. Beach glass is nice.
If I could just have a jar of it, I would. We don't live close enough to a beach.
Not
currently.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Oh, right. I should probably move too.
Stop the gameplay every time you do that.
I know. I don't care. Deal with it. Anyways,
Uh,
I hope that Hop joins the evil team. That sounds like it would be a great new way to do things. It's probably not going to happen. Pokemon
No,
plots
not
are
really.
usually pretty simple. Even when they do complex things, like 5th Gen had N, and he was kind of a complicated character, and the Aether Foundation thing's kind
My
of
God.
complex.
I think I've talked about it before, but he was so much more complicated in the original version. I just want to see Blastoise walk around, by the way.
Blastoise is my
Boom,
boy.
boom, 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 boom.
I love him.
I don't remember if I've talked about this. I probably have. People have talked to Masuda and Tsukumori, and I think Omori about this in the past, where there were concepts for N prior to Black and White actually coming out, and they weren't sure what they were originally going to do with the character, so there's a bunch of stuff left in, and a bunch of stuff that's been taken out, but parts of it are still in, just in confusing ways. N was originally supposed to be, and I'm using big fat air quotes here, the human child of Pokemon. It was supposed to be that N just kind of appeared in the forest one day, and he was raised by Pokemon, yes, but there is a question of whether or not he was actually born from Pokemon or not as well. Which is, it would be so fucking confusing if that was his actual storyline.
I'm not sure where I
Also,
am
yes,
anymore.
it's a very chunky walk. Oh well.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Josh. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be
Son of a ditto.
like it was supposed to be a Zoroark?
It could have been a Zoroark. A
'Cause
lot of people
illusions.
point out that I think it's in Black 2 and White 2, one of the last Pokemon he uses against you is a Zoroark. And he walks through a door, and if you chase him through the door, there's a Zoroark on the other side, and then it runs away, or some weird shit like that.
yeah.
I can't remember.
Well, anyways, they have complex characters sometimes, but the actual path of the narrative in a Pokemon game doesn't twist too much, and I feel like although it would be very cool to have your rival character turn out to be like seduced to the dark side or whatever, it's like that might be a little more complex than they want to actually give any screen time to,
Yeah.
but it would be cool.
I finally caught up to you. I got an Earth bat. Wow, that was fast, Jack. What did Gary put a fucking expressway in? Like
Gary
shit,
just patted
dude.
him on the head and was like, "Here you go. We can't let those hat protagonists get the
Gary's
best
like,
of us."
ooh, shit, I forgot. I don't have any Earth-type Pokemon. I got this level 5 Diglett. You want to fight it?
He doesn't need to have ground Pokemon.
That means we can finally get into the Pokemon League.
Also, do you think that he has to fight the other trainers in the gym for the right to be their leader?
I mean, maybe. I heard the Elite Four are incredibly strong, but there's no turning back now, right? I think you're ready. Show me the Pokemon you've raised. Yeah,
Alright.
here's our rival battle.
Agent Emerlad is reminding us of the
Yeah.
one theory where the
There's
Ultra
a-
Beasts
yeah.
were people.
Okay, so here's the thing. That came out way the hell before Sun and Moon actually came out. It kind of made sense, and there may have been some conceptual version of the game where that was the case, because a lot of the Ultra Beasts still look like actual characters in the storyline.
Like,
for that game.
what is it? Nihilego kind of vaguely has Lily's
it
hairstyle.
looks a lot like Lily.
Xurkitree looks like Guzma. Like, it looks like there's something there, and they
there
dropped
is
it.
totally something within the realm of possibility. Xurkitree looks just like Guzma, by the way. That is like
Yeah.
the one damning one where people are like, can we talk about this elephant in the room real quick?
That one, what's it called?
It's
Pheromosa?
it's even got Lusamine looks like Pheromosa.
Yeah.
It's even got his swagger when it stands around. It walks in the same way he does, and it's like, okay.
And it's like, oh, are these? They're from. Like, there could have been a lot of things. It could have been they were disguised as humans and then they'd turn into them. Or like,
Or
oh,
something
well,
like that.
this is the alternate you from the Ultra Dimension, where every human is a Pokemon and every
Or
Pokemon is a
something
human.
really weird, yeah.
Which would have been grand, because then, like, a human would walk through a portal and be like, hi, my name's Mewtwo.
Hi, my name is Mewtwo, but my friends call me Jared. Like, Jared Mew. Jared Mew Jr., actually, thank you. Anywho,
Mew was my father's name.
yeah, Mew was my dad.
And mom. It's just one
It's
thing.
complicated. It's complicated. Who is it? Vileplume? Okay, then I shouldn't be using water type attacks. I forgot what we were even fighting. Okay. I was gonna say something else about that, and I've already fucking forgotten what I was gonna say.
I don't know. There's a lot of times where a storyline in Pokemon kind of just trails down a direction
Yeah.
that never happens.
Oh god, I was gonna talk about Guzma. Guzma is, I think, one of the like, and this is something that I don't know how many people realize this. Like how many people have played Sun and Moon. I actually legitimately don't know. Guzma has a unbelievably depressing storyline if you look into it. People typically don't look into it. Like, there's a very high chance that he came from an incredibly abusive household, where his father, who is a pro golfer who turned failure and was unable to continue to pro golf, may have beaten him with golf clubs. And he's from a broken home where his mother is gone, and he's in a situation where people literally never believed in him and kept
no.
telling him that. And it's
I'm
like,
dying. Well, Dark is dying, but I'll fix it in a
yeah,
second.
go ahead, Wolfcrow, what's up?
The
Wolfcrow
question's up
says,
here.
oh, quick question. Planning on getting Pokemon, or are you getting Sword, Shield, or both? Oh, God, not both. I don't know. I honestly, I'm still on the fence.
The box
I really don't care
legendaries
enough.
don't help.
Yeah, the box legendaries are not interesting enough, in my opinion. It really comes down to whether or not there are bigger changes between the two versions than just the gym leaders. If we just had to go off of what we know and the gym leaders now, I'd probably get the one with Alistair in it, but that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah,
we
I think
might
I'm
pull
more
the
spooky
Patreon.
than
We have a
kooky.
Patreon, by the way. We might pull that Patreon. That it
think we
honestly
just
feels
need
like
to
a
know
better
more.
idea. Yeah, honestly, I think there needs to be more information, and if it's really, really like a big question at the end, then we'll figure it out.
It
But,
might be
you know.
just based on there being like an exclusive Pokemon. Like the reason as a child that I just specifically begged my parents for Pokemon Blue was because I needed to be able to get Meowths.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
it's like, we don't
it
know
could
which
be-
game. Oh, I clicked the wrong move. We don't know which game is going to have Meowth in it, basically.
I went back for you.
Yeah, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
No, I did it anyways.
Anyway. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It comes down to what the actual changes are going to be between the two games, which we should probably find out before the games even come out, honestly.
I mean,
So we'll see.
we might not. It might not be a first day purchase for us. Firstly, because we're not super enthusiastic about them. I might give it a few days
well-
and wait for people to get a better idea.
No, it'll probably be first day because I want to be able to do the, I want to be able to do streams as fast as possible with that, but also, I really like when we go in there for the waiting line for Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Which is, it's the weirdest thing to stand out front of like a game store with like 50 other people who are just like sitting in a circle and talking about EVs, and there's the one person dressed like Ash, really unhappily sitting in the corner trying to avoid everyone,
and
but
people
they're
are throwing
cosplaying.
plush at each other.
And people are
stuff.
throwing plush at each other.
At the Sun and
Yeah.
Moon release, I handed out little business cards with the Pokeblog on.
Yeah, which was nice.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if I'll do that again this time, because I realized that my business card had a typo in it.
Yeah, which I didn't point out until, what was it, like 2 years after you got the business card? And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
did this always say this? Was this always your thing?
Also, I have so fallen off of the legitimate business train lately. Not that
Aw.
I've ever been a business, but like in the
I'm
whole,
sorry.
I'm an artist with a website, and here's my blogs, and here's my commission page, and all this. It's like, I've kind of fallen off. I've got too many projects I'm juggling.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. It is fine. I eventually want to redo all my stuff, because all of my website stuff is Tumblr based, and I feel like the issues that people have been having with Tumblr have largely blown over because it's been about half a year, but it's still not necessarily a viable place to continue being my center for how to access my art.
Yeah. I've raised my Pokemon up this much, and I still can't beat you. Huh? You got
You'll
$8
never beat
million
us.
dollars.
Somehow,
Beating it.
despite being one step behind us this whole time, though, is he really going to
You
end
know,
up being the
Josh,
champion? I don't
I've
think
always
so.
felt like I needed to look after you. Really? Because you didn't seem that way. I feel
We've
like
been
we were
looking
looking
after
after you
you.
for most of this. Ever since we were young.
You're still young.
Did I even know you when we were children? I thought we just met.
Nah, I
But
think we were friends.
I think you're the one who has more talent as a trainer.
I'll say yes, James Mason. I
It's-
saw the art. It was very cute.
Oh.
It was. You'd have to scroll up a little ways. It was a Twitter link.
I saw it. It was cute.
It's frustrating. I've never felt this way before. Is this what makes it fun to raise Pokemon? Whatever it is, I know I don't want to lose again. It's weird to even have to ask, but let me go on ahead first.
Okay.
What? Oh,
so
he
this
will
is
be
the
champion.
explanation.
Cool, fine,
That's
thanks.
silly.
Please let me go first. Buster seems to have a rivalry with Jack's Pokemon. There is a... oh no, wait, we still gotta go through Victory Road, don't we?
Hey, he had a Raichu in that fight, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He evolved his Pikachu, which is something you're not supposed to be able to do in this.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing so much talking and looking at the chat and everything that it's like, I wasn't really thinking about
he had a
it.
Raichu.
Huh.
Poi.
Also, if you heard a cat meow in the background, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we
We
don't
don't have a
one.
cat.
If there's cats outside,
We're not
I didn't
allowed to
hear
have cats here. Our apartment is like, I mean, if we wanted cats, we'd have to pay like $500 extra a month. Like, fuck that.
No, it's like a $500 deposit and then like $50 pet rent every month.
It's still fuck that.
Plus, like, feeding
Deposit
the cat.
and pet rent? Nah.
When we first moved in, I wanted a cat.
Yeah,
but
we
it was,
seriously
like,
considered it, but it's like,
financially,
it's
like,
too much.
Nah.
Ghost cat? Could be a ghost cat. I mean,
Ghost
those are
cats are
free.
cool.
Ghost cats are fine. I'm alright with that.
I'm gonna take a quick intermission real quick. You go
Okay.
ahead and keep doing...
I will go ahead and kick the table out. Sorry if you guys can hear it. What?
Do you want me to turn on the AC one?
No.
Okay.
Be loud.
I figured I'd ask.
No, that's fine. Oh shit. Oh god, the mic. Okay. You guys can hear me, I assume, I'm hoping. So now it's just you and me. Oh, goodness. She'll be back in a minute. So what we're going to do is... I think we'll... Let's see. Blastoise is stomping around. I think what we can do is I'm going to put Dark at the head of the party. And I'm going to try to do... I'm going to chain. I think I'm going to chain some, like... Oh, what? No, go away. This ghost is here. It won't leave me alone. I'm going to... I'm going to chain... going to get Ravioli. Yeah, she's going to get more Ravioli. It's fine. If you hear beeps, it's just the Ravioli beeps. I'm going to go ahead and try and chain some Bulbasaurs. Because I think we've caught one, but we haven't evolved it. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Like, getting a Bulbasaur is probably a really good idea. And getting a strong Bulbasaur is probably fine, too, because we have the Mega Stones for it now. Actually, I'm going to go and I'm going to set the nature if I'm going to do this, though, because that feels like a better idea to me. I know it's Megan. I know the ghost was Megan. She's not here right now, though. So, I'm going to teach you guys some... Oh god. Eevee's doing cute things. What's happening? It's so overjoyed, it's hopping up and down. I'm going to go ahead and... Let's see. I think, according to what Megan had said, the person that we're looking for is here. Yeah, Fortune Teller. So we're going to go in there, and I'm going to teach you guys some stuff about, I guess, selecting natures for Pokemon, though I'm pretty sure most people know how to do this already. It does have natures. It totally has natures. But the Fortune Teller is an easy way to set natures forever. If I can figure out where she is. I don't know what she looks like. I'm going to assume it's that woman with an Abra. She looks like a Fortune Teller. Yep. Charge 10,000. It'll set it. So let's do that. 5 different... Oh, God. Okay. I don't know how to set natures, apparently.
I remember seeing this on Bulbapedia. The first choice I want to
Okay.
say is the stat boost, and the second choice is the stat reduction.
Okay.
The colors are like the contest colors.
Okay, what would that make, Oh, you know what, I bet they're in order then, so then it's attack, defense, special attack, special defense. So the first one is the boost?
Okay, that makes sense. So we'll see if we can set this up, look into the future. Should be modest. If you... Oh, hold on, Megan's coming back.
Are you deciding to chain for something?
Yeah, well, I was going to do it because I thought you were going to be gone for longer. Meeting, greeting, every time so fleeting. Hello, goodbye, every day beneath the sky. This person looks a little, there might be some problems here, I don't know.
She's possessed by a ghost, dear.
So what we're shooting for, because it is, I was going to chain Bulbasaur. Nature hates ya, wouldn't want to date ya. Abracadabra, nature is so fab. Synchro. Oh, okay, so it's just using Synchro.
Okay.
Fate is guiding your path. The encounters you will have this day are likely to have a modest nature. That's what I was shooting for. Modest on a Bulbasaur. So, natures. For those of you who don't know, when it comes to Pokemon, this is going to help you in both competitive and normal and everything else. Not just in this game, but in other games. What you want to do is take a concept for natures in a Pokemon to something like min-maxing. Like you want to make sure that you have as much going on in certain stats as physically possible. You do not want to shoot for balance. Balance is kind of a choice that a lot of people make, and it's not bad necessarily, but it's not a good idea just to cover your weaknesses, because your weaknesses will always be there. It's better to... Oh, goodness. Thank you so much for the follow. Zakaz. 122. Welcome to the Space Beneath the Floorboards. We have plenty of tasty boots down there. We don't eat them, lad.
Eat them boots. They are deep fried and delicious and squeaky.
So what you want to do for Pokemon typically is, and I like using this analogy, it's you don't want to have a good sword and then go ahead and go out and buy a substandard shield. You want to sharpen your sword instead. If you are already using a Pokemon that is going hard into one stat, you don't want to bother with buffing the other ones using the nature or IVs or EVs or anything like that. You want to buff the main stat. So in the case of Bulbasaur, that is a Beedrill, Jesus. In the case of Bulbasaur, its main stat is special attack, which means its attack is kind of garbage. So for nature, you want to go with high special attack, low regular attack, which is modest. And you want to get that special attack as high as you can. I didn't realize that there was somebody in here we didn't kill. Oh, God. Yo, you can't punk out on battle if you're a real Pokemon trainer.
I am going to point out with what Josh is saying for min-maxing is like, sometimes you will get a Pokemon that you really, really like that doesn't have the nature you want and stuff like that. You can still do things to try
not a Kakuna, please.
Like, you can still use the system to make your Pokemon the best it can be, even if it's garbage to start.
Not a level 3 Kakuna, please! No! Anything but that! Sorry.
Like... Sometimes, when Josh does this, like, you don't want to do this without this, you gotta do all this stuff and don't buff the wrong things. It's like, every Pokemon is a beautiful, unique flower, man, and they can all reach their top potential, and it's okay. It's okay if not all of them are competitive level perfect. But if you want to get something that's competitive level perfect, you start with things like natures, yes.
Yeah, well, you start with, if you really want to get competitive level perfect, you start with IVs, but that's very difficult to do.
Well,
in this game.
Isn't it easier to start with nature and then you do the Everstone trick for nature?
Yeah, you know what, you're right. Yeah, it's better to start with nature, but you start with nature, you get into IVs, and then once you get a good Pokemon with good IVs and a good nature, then you move over into EVs, which are a completely different thing. And I think at some point I was talking to people about this, and we decided that the best means for talking about this would be for me to eventually do a video on it or a series on it.
Pikachu.
But I kind of dropped that concept a while ago. I can always go back to it. It's not that big a deal.
You gonna?
Yeah, we gotta.
Is this
We'll just
starting to change?
Catch it and throw it. No, not yet.
Oh. It's been a while.
Yeah, Ivy's got a lot easier in Gen 6, yes. Yes, they did. And let's see, anything after Chain 31 has perfect IVs, I'm aware. I meant you can't breed for IVs.
I mean, you kind of can. But not in this game.
Not in this game. No, I didn't mean in general. I mean, you can't breed in this game at all, so of course you can't breed for IVs.
Yeah, in older games, sometimes it's not viable to do, like, perfect IVs and natures and
shows
stuff.
up in here. He does show up in here. I'm not
I
making
think
that
you
up,
have
right?
to...
Oh,
Oh,
God.
welcome.
Hey, welcome. Swallow Fellow.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it is. Welcome to the space beneath our floorboards. There's plenty of squeaky boots if you're hungry. We don't need them, lad.
I think we're just chaining and then rares will start to pop up, right?
That is the idea, is that we're going to
Okay.
chain a little bit and then the
It's a
rarer
girl
Pokemon will show
one.
up. So, 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Yeah, in older games, it's not always viable to do all of the super min-maxing, in which case it's good to know some of your less optimal natures and some of the weird stuff that can happen, and then just kind of work with them. In Sapphire, where certain breeding tricks don't work, and you've got a very limited move pool for some Pokemon, I've been doing things where I'm training up new Pokemon and Eevee training them. It's like, I have a Walrein, which is a very big Pokemon. Very defensive. She's got like near perfect IVs in both defense and special defense, and middling IVs in speed and special attack.
Mm-hmm.
She has a 0 in HP and a 0 in attack. She's still a fucking beast. She
Yeah.
tanks things really well for 3rd gen.
Well, yeah, but if she came up against a Pokemon that was, similar but better, like, built, like somebody from the ground up was like, no, I'm going to do exactly this and it's going to be perfect, then she'd run into a situation where it's like, oh, she wouldn't be as good as she could be.
Yeah, but against the AIs in the battle tower,
Yeah,
who
against
keep trying
AI,
to
I
do
mean, you're
silly
almost always
things.
going to win. So
I mean, there are some that are still getting me. I haven't gotten the special ribbons yet, but like,
that's fair.
like sometimes you deal with what you got. So like when you hear all of the min-maxy stuff, like don't be intimidated. You can still take your
shit. Just
abysmal
run.
starter or whatever. You could take this Pidgey, this level 7 Pidgey, and make it the best Pidgey it could be, and it's still fun.
Yeah, well,
and
it's also
fulfilling.
been made way easier in this game specifically because of the candy system. Which,
Oh yeah, that
you can
shit.
put it almost an infinite number of candies on most Pokemon, and putting candy on a Pokemon basically there we go. Basically means that the Pokemon in
My
question
baby.
can
tiny.
be like hundreds of points higher than it should be. 3, 2, 1, throw. Ah, shit, he moved. 3, 2, 1, throw. Oh, okay. I gotta not do it in time with his stuff. So, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sure. I got a Feebas in Sapphire.
I also did.
Or Ruby, not Sapphire, my bad.
But yeah, I did it the hard way back in the day.
Yeah, you check every single square of water because there's only 6 squares of water in the entire route where you can catch Feebas.
I caught one, and then I bred it, and I've got
Yeah.
a bunch of Phoebus just around.
For a while, I was the only kid I knew who had a Feebas.
Oh yeah, we haven't got one of these.
Yep.
Bulbasaur, the seed Pokemon. It can go for days without eating a single morsel. In the bulb on its back, it stores energy.
This one is about half the size of a normal
Oh, it's
Bulbasaur.
so small.
1 foot and 6 inches. It's a 1.5 foot tall Bulbasaur. It weighs 10 pounds.
He's a babysaur.
Yeah, he's a
I
chubby
love
baby.
him. He's only the first, though. We're gonna keep.
Yeah,
chaining.
we're gonna keep chaining these, so we'll see if we get more. So from now on, we only catch Bulbasaur. Oh god, there's so much garbage here. we might need to run into things just to reduce garbage, because
Sure.
there's so much here.
That's fair.
Because as long as you run away, it's fine. Babelsaur.
I keep trying to do a counterpoint to Josh's, like, this is your EVs and IVs stuff. Not necessarily to say that he's wrong, but because he keeps telling me this shit, and it's like, man, sometimes I just like the Pokemon I have.
Yeah, and it's fine to, like, I'm not gonna, like, yell at you about that or be, like, disappointed or anything, but it's like, it is important to realize that, yeah, it's not gonna be perfect. And, I mean, that's fine. Most people are probably fine with that, but it's just going to happen that way. It's going to continue to happen that way. Your Pokemon are going to be subpar. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they're not as good as they could have been. And that's fine, too.
Yeah, but, like, I
I'm the
like
kind
to
of person
do...
who breeds for months at a time on projects when I play Pokemon.
I'm the kind of person who likes to do small-scale projects that are just to bring up my personals.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this is a Pokemon I caught on Route 1 at the beginning of the game. I'm gonna, like, erase all of the EVs with berries and then retrain. And it's like, it's fine. Just doing dumb
guess.
shit like that. It's like, it's fulfilling for me.
Was that a... No, that's a Weedle.
Also, he keeps telling me things like, oh, no one's gonna want your breeding rejects because they only have, like, a 31-1 stat. And it's like, some people just want to get...
Saying.
Some people just have fun trading just to get, like, Pokemon from different places. I put wacky nicknames on things.
I guess.
One of the Phoebus that's still sitting on one of my files.
You're calling me
in 4th
out
Gen.
today, ain't you?
I always do, and you know that. One of the Phoebus that I bred off of the one that I caught wild is sitting in one of my 4th gen games, and it's just there because I was going to do trading for just Phoebus in general to get them to people, and I don't remember if I actually gave out any of them, but I tried to give them silly names, and I was looking through it one day recently, and I was looking, it's like, okay, here's a bunch of traders I can never trade because the internet's down for 4th and 5th gen. And I look at it as like, this one's name is Long Egg.
Unfortunate.
No, that name rules.
There is, by the way, this is an experience I had in Black and White. So Feebas in 3rd gen was incredibly hard to get, and I don't even think he existed wild in 4th gen. I could be wrong about that. Feebas, I don't remember if it's even wild in 5th, but you can, at the end of the game, in post-game, when Looker gives you the fishing rod, and this happened to me, this is how I know this, if you walk back out onto Route 1 and you fish in one of those fishing spaces, like the bubbles of water that hang out in the fishing areas, right?
We should have chosen a common Pokemon to chain off of for a while first.
Maybe. But you know how you get that thing where you've got the bubbles, the water bubbles?
I vaguely remember. 5th gen, I just
5th gen was the only generation that had that.
I ignored a lot of 5th gen.
Okay, well, you had the grass moving, where you could run in and grab moving grass, and then rarer Pokemon would show up. And you had the water equivalent of that, which was the water bubbles, which is where the water would just kind of like... Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't
It's okay,
do
it's
that.
okay.
I was
The
just so
water
far
would
behind.
just like sort of start splish splashing, and then you can run into rare Pokemon in it. I immediately, upon getting the fishing rod, walked into Route 1, dropped the fishing rod into a water bubble, and immediately caught a Melodic. It was a like level 50 or 60 Melodic that just
Melodic
showed up
are
out of nowhere, and I'm
monstrous.
like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. How's it going, Melodic? Melodic's like, sup.
Melodic are, like, always trouble when you see them.
Yeah.
That's a big old Caterpie. It's still about the size of a thumb.
It's still real tiny. It's like a baby bug. Little itty bitty baby Caterpie. I bet the Butterfree off a big Caterpie would be good though. I was gonna do this while you were doing other things. So do you want to just go into the next place where we were going?
Well, we
And
got
kinda
a
drop what we were
Bulbasaur at
doing?
all, so that's good.
Yeah, we got a Bulbasaur period.
Yeah,
So
we might want to
that is better than
designate.
nothing.
We might
Maybe
want
a
to
different
designate
day or
days for
something.
just
Yeah.
catch streams.
I mean,
instead of
honestly, we could probably do that. I bet people would probably watch that and be
Yeah,
interested
as
in that.
opposed to now where it's like, oh, this is in between us doing plot stuff.
Yeah, I feel like people are not going to be too interested in us just walking around back and forth trying to find Bulbasaurs that aren't
Yeah,
here.
and like the chaining works on other stuff. Like you can chain one thing and then your count is high.
I should have chained off of like a Pidgey or something like that. I'm aware. That was a bad choice. I made a bad choice.
But we've got a Bulbasaur and we didn't before.
Yeah.
So that's good to have.
I agree. It doesn't help that this place is fucking terrible.
It's Viridian Forest.
Viridian Forest is always so like swarmed with trash though. Look at this
It's
place.
an early area.
It's so no, I mean it's actually swarming. Like there's
for
so
bugs.
many.
It's the bug place.
There's so many.
Remember
we were
in-
losing frames. There were so many Pokemon in certain parts of this. I don't know if you even
Oh,
noticed, but
I
like
don't know. I never noticed
when I
that.
opened the menu to use the lure, it's like the menu took a split second just to open, and it was like just chugging to get there.
Do you remember in Pokemon
so
Special,
bad.
the manga?
Look at this.
I want to be the best there ever was, to beat all the rest. Yeah, that's my